Hi, and welcome back to Inspired Alchemy with Lizzie, where we get a little unhinged, a little deep, a little sassy sometimes, a little spooky, a little bit of everything. This is, like I said, episode 15, and I pretty much want to talk about the alchemy of not knowing what the hell you're doing. Just not knowing. I'm going to start this episode off with a quote by Viktor Frankl. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name properly, but the quote is: between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space, our power to choose is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Freedom is a core value of Inspired Alchemy. Freedom can mean many things to different people. When I'm talking about the alchemy of not knowing what you're doing, it's that space that you're sitting in. Some people call it an integration space. I believe I've spoken about it before. I have a bad memory for the things that I talk about, unfortunately. So if I repeat myself multiple times, I'm just trying to give you more information. It's probably because I forgot that I had spoken about it before. So in that space where we have the freedom to choose, we give ourselves that freedom to choose. And that space is also most likely the space where we don't know what we're doing. I've had a couple conversations with friends over the past couple of weeks because, again, I've been really hard on myself. I'm ripping my business apart. I have two businesses. One I am just starting, and then I have Inspired Alchemy that I've had for about 5 years. And I'm ripping everything apart because everything I thought I was actually wasn't. I am unbecoming everything I thought I was, and I am becoming more whole, and I'm becoming everything I'm meant to be. This is a really scary space to be in. I literally have no idea what I'm doing most of the time, and I'm just doing things. I am starting where I'm at. I am at like what I call a 0 point for the most part. Yes, I have all of my past experiences, but at the same time, I I don't know this version of me yet, and I don't know what she's capable of. I can feel it. I don't know I don't know anything at this point, honestly. And that's okay. So I'm ripping my business apart. I'm pretty much ripping my whole life apart and analyzing everything, but not to a point where I'm like, oh, this is bad and this is bad and this is bad. I'm not analyzing it in that way. I'm trying to analyze what is me, what's aligned, what's in integrity, and what isn't. Because who I was even 3 weeks ago is not who I am now. And I know that this can be exhausting. And when I say I'm ripping my business apart, I'm going through this group coaching program. I'm learning about business in ways that I never did before because honestly, I was scared and I didn't think that I was smart enough and I didn't think that I was worthy enough and I didn't think that I was capable of doing these things. I thought that that's it. I was just going to settle for something small. And then the universe has shown me, no, you got to do more. No, you got to do more. Rest right now, and then you got to do more. And then you rest, and then you do more. So this weekend, I don't know what happened over the last 4 days. I did so much purging around house stuff that I made space to listen and understand, even within myself, to and hold duality for different things. And this ties into not knowing what I'm doing because over this past week, I have been doing things differently. And sometimes they don't make sense, and that's okay. And I'm analyzing every part of my business and trying to figure out what it is I'm really supposed to be doing. What is my purpose here? What am I known for? And I am getting some crap from friends going, you're being a little too hard on yourself. But it's kind of how I learn what I am and what I'm not. And it's a very confusing process. It's frustrating, it's overwhelming, especially when you have other things going on. You're like, oh yeah, it's a great idea to just rip everything apart and start from the beginning. Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense if I'm going to be building now my inspired alchemy, kind of not from the ground up, but you know what I mean. And then my other business from the ground up. I might as well just learn it and apply everything to that other business. So in the quote that I read you, you have stimulus, which could be all these overwhelming things. It could be emotions. It could be really anything that stimulates you. And there's response. So I could be like, you know what? All of this is too overwhelming. My response, my immediate reaction was, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't. I don't know what I'm doing. It hurts my brain. I am overwhelmed, and I start going down these self-deprecating paths of like, why am I doing any of this? I'm not making a difference, like all that stuff. I believe that I've mentioned that before. I go through this really dumb cycle of sabotage, but I'm aware of it. So I work on it all the time. And it happens right before something big is going to happen. But anyways, in between the stimulus and the response is space. And I have to give myself that space. And in that space, even though I have no idea what I'm doing, I find more pieces of what makes sense. And in those pieces, I find more freedom. Does it lead to more confusion sometimes? Maybe. Does it lead to clarity as well? Yes. Because it's kind of like the more you know, the more you don't understand. And that's pretty much how life is. The more you figure out, the more you know, the less you understand, which doesn't seem to make sense, but it does. So, in that space, before we respond or react, is is our power to choose. Like I said, I could go down a path where I'm like, you know what? I just give up. Nothing's working. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about business. I'm terrible at math. Like all of these different things. I could take those things and I can make them true about myself and decide I don't want to do them. I don't want to do any of this. But my purpose is bigger than that. My passion is bigger than that. My love for what I do is bigger than that. I've already gotten people saying, and I don't understand it because when I come on here, I'm just kind of going through my healing process. But I've had people tell me already that I've helped them. And while I don't understand, that's my goal, is to serve and to help others. And if I were to give up on myself, I would also be giving up on those other people. And I don't want to do that. I want to help people. I want people to see that alchemy works, inner alchemy works, shadow work works if you're willing to do it and if you're willing to stay consistent. I could tell you my whole life story from my childhood of growing up poor and growing up in a dysfunctional household, and how many times I had to switch schools, 18. I could tell you all of these different things. I can make excuses as to why I can't do a specific thing, but I'm not going to. I could let fear stop me. I could allow the space to be consumed with fear instead, but I'm not. I'm a psycho, a little bit. I'm a weirdo. I don't know if I'm a creep. But I do wonder what the hell I'm doing here sometimes. And I'm saying all of this to explain to you, or to have you understand that if you're scared, do it anyway. If you don't think you're going to make a difference, but you have a passion for it, do it anyway. If you want to serve your little heart out, but you don't know how, just take the first step. People need you exactly where you are right now. And I've been told that many times over. I still don't think I am knowledgeable enough, or, and this is probably a bad thing to say, but it is true. I'm not going to lie about it. I have all of these different certifications, but yet I feel like I need to know more, learn more, to be able to serve better. And I guess that can be a good thing as well. So, the last part of the quote is, in our response lies our growth and our freedom. When you start to realize and you start to see your patterns and you start to see that nobody else has it figured out either, and you start learning your self sabotage loops, and you learn about your core wounds and you learn about these different things, then you can start to really get into alchemizing what those things are for you. And then you really get into freedom, the freedom of not caring what people think, the freedom of looking like a fool. And I'm not saying fool in like a bad way, but like looking like a weirdo. You just won't care anymore, and you'll find your people. You'll find the people that you're supposed to serve. You'll find your purpose. You'll find what you're supposed to be doing. You learn more to pause for a moment and then respond after you've seen what's happening in that space in between. I hope people are catching that I'm like using lyrics. If you are, kudos to you. All of this is just to say, again, you don't have to have it all figured out. Nobody does. And if they tell you that they know what they're doing 100% of the time and that they all have it figured out, they're either bypassing, number one, and this might get me hate, but it's fine. They're either bypassing or they're lying to you. Nobody has it all figured out. Nobody. And as soon as you think that you have things figured out, you grow and you evolve, and then you have to do it again. But that's the beauty of this life. People will say things that make you feel broken. And they'll say things and do things, and they'll treat you certain ways that make you feel like you're not enough, or that you're too much, or that you're broken, or that something is wrong with you. And that's just not the case. We don't have it all figured out. You don't have to have it figured out at 14. You don't have to have it figured out at 24. You don't have to have it figured out at 34. You don't have to have it figured out at 44 or 54 or 94. You can constantly grow as long as you're consistent, and you'll keep moving forward. And don't let anybody make you feel bad about your growth journey. It is personal to everybody, and it belongs to you. and your own. It doesn't belong to anybody else. Your journey doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. You can, this life is yours. And just do what makes you happy. Do what you're passionate about. Live in alignment. Live in integrity. And don't wait because you don't feel ready. Now, I'm not saying to go out and quit your job tomorrow. That would be irresponsible of me. I'm just saying take the small steps that you need to live the life that you love and that you're passionate about. Live a life you love and that you're passionate about. I hope I was able to wrap all of that into some cohesive something. Thank you for being here. And I always like to remind you, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. And you can't be what you're supposed to be before your time. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And until next time, keep alchemizing. You've got this.